future ignites. Sellers in control, watch the sales grow. Empowered to win with eRank we flow. Hello,
That was
eRank.
fancy.
That was pretty good. Hey everyone, yeah, I'll get the housework out of the way for that. That was created by Sophie, our lovely person. If you're in our eRank French group, you've probably noticed her more there. With the new app Udio, which is studio without the so just and that's how I'm remembering it anyway. So just to let you all know. And while I'm remembering,
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, Sophie.
Yeah, that was so good. She put them up and she was just like, I've been messing around with this. What do you think? And I'm like, I really like that. And I'm not supposed, that's not my kind of music, but I was swimming today and I had a little song in my head and I was just like, oh no, it's the eRank song. So here's your earworm, everybody. And we might, if I remember, we might have another one at the end of this video, but you guys will have to remind me because I'm rubbish. And I may or may not have spent half of today doing songs for myself and making videos out of them. It's too much fun. So keep an eye out. There might be more to come. But yes, while I remember with Sophie, our French correspondent in eRank, Anthony has asked us to ask if we have any native Italian or Spanish speakers in eRank, because we hopefully have a little job for you all if you're up for that. And if you are and you're interested in helping out with eRank, you can email anthony@erank.com. He just asked us to let us know that. And before I forget, Debbie asked me to remind us, because I also nearly forgot, eRank is just brand new on Reddit now as well. So we're an eRank community on Reddit. So if anyone uses that, hop over there. It's just a little baby. It's like 2 days old. So go and be kind to it.
And you could ask your questions there, just like on Facebook, and you can interact the same way that you would everywhere else, except it's Reddit.
Yeah, if that's a good or a bad thing.
I love Reddit, so that's a great thing for me.
I'm getting more into it. It's usually Jan who works on our blog. Everyone hopefully knows Jan from there. She is forever messaging me going like, have you seen this, Pam? Have you seen this? I'm like, yeah, cool. So I've started trying to check in there every day. So there's Jessica in the chat who will mainly be running our Reddit. I'll try and pop in and say hello as well. And I think you'll see loads of the team. Probably it's only the team that are in there just now, actually.
Yeah. But Reddit is a great place for faster news than the Etsy forums. The Etsy forums tend to be slow with picking things up. On Reddit, if something's happening, someone's already talking about it.
It is good. It's a couple of years ago now I started looking properly, because Reddit used to be extremely toxic. I tried it years ago and it was so bad, but it feels much less toxic now.
It's a lot more moderated. It's a lot more. It's a lot easier to kick or ban people from subreddits if they're being dinks. And so it's a lot cleaner, especially in the Etsy communities. It's a lot less toxic. It used to be very toxic. Now it's actually very friendly and everyone's actually there to help each other. And if you're not there to help, then you get downvoted until you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So is dinks a Canadian word, or is that you just stopping yourself swearing in the middle? Because that's very cute.
No, dink is a word that's used. You guys don't use that?
So no, we're Scottish. We just swear.
Fair.
I was trying to think, do we have a nice word for people we don't like? And no, we don't. So I'll have to steal dinks.
Dink is good. It's a good word.
That's
so if anyone has any questions, pop into the chat. We do have a couple questions lined up. But we're here to help.
Yep, hopefully. Oh, here we're hopefully getting more eRank songs to come. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, that's
They're
good. I
ridiculously
like
good.
Etsy.
I'll say my songs have possibly been a lot less pop based because you just put in the kind of genre you want and everything. So
Okay.
if you like sort of 90s grunge stuff, I've got some stuff coming to my channel soon.
All right, so let's get started with a question from the internet, just so that you guys have time to get some questions in. The first question is from Jennifer, and she said, "Could someone explain to me the importance of choosing a category? Also, how do you choose if several products fit?"
Well, my
So,
take on that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my take is don't stress too much about categories. They're they're important for the few people that get to the front of a category, basically. Occasionally I've had listings that land at the front, so when people click on like, I don't know, home decor or something, I can't even remember what the categories are. There's like 20 shops that are going to show on the page. Super important for those people. For the most of the rest of us, it's not that important. And how to choose several if your products fit. Experiment with different ones, but I personally have not seen it make a single shred of difference apart from if I'm right on the front page. How about
Etsy's
you,
also
Brian?
been kind of Etsy's been kind of hiding categories more and more. They used to be front and center at the top page, right in the top bar. Excuse me. And now you have to actually click on categories to see the categories. It's become a lot harder. In the filters, there's no longer the categories. So when you do a search, you can't filter by categories. Category doesn't really matter as much as it used to. It still is an SEO term. So any term that you use in your categories is an SEO term. But if your products fit across multiple categories, you just use your titles and tags to kind of fill those extra spaces. So when it comes to choosing the right category, it's not as important anymore. It does help Etsy understand what your listing is, because there's very limited information about your listing that Etsy has. And so that's one of the ways that Etsy can kind of showcase your listing. They know that if someone is constantly looking for baby stuff, then and your listing happens to be in a baby category, it's more likely it's going to show that listing. If they're just searching for home decor, it's going to show them more baby home decor. So having it in the right category in that sense can help, but your titles and tags do that as well. So at the moment, categories are not that big a deal, at least
Yeah.
not as big a deal as they used to be.
And even then, it's not worth stressing about a lot. I know we all feel that there's a little something we're missing, that if we fix it, suddenly sales will blow up. And I've been down that path a million times, and I'm sure most people have. But getting in the right category, if it makes a fraction of a percent a difference, I'd be surprised. When I say I've tested, I try every so often and I don't see a blind bit of difference or enough for me to be stressing about it. So you just look and you go, that'll do, and pick what fits.
Exactly. It's more about the search, like the search bar is front and center. Categories are now kind of hidden, and you'll actually you'll see that Etsy Picks or Gift Mode or any of these other any other occasions or things that are going on Etsy are more prominent than categories. So worrying about it and being like, oh, but it's the wrong one and it's not exactly this, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, I'd say gift mode is far more important. And that doesn't mean you put gift for mom in your keywords. I've looked through like the gift mode sort of categories that they have and
Mhm.
seen what is really relevant for what you make. And I've found that a few of my items are now getting shown in the correct gift modes because I've put gift for dog lover or gift for book lover and these high level categories that are relevant for your item. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think certainly for the rest of this year, Etsy's going to be pushing gift mode way more than categories.
exactly. Even on Amazon, categories are kind of hidden. You got like the warehouse, you got all the fancy stuff at the top, but you don't even see categories anymore. Categories no one
Yeah,
cares about.
if search works properly, categories shouldn't matter, because if you type in what you're looking for, it should show you the right thing.
Exactly. And we had a question from Jane that said, "Can I set up my shop so that I only sell to Canada and U.S. customers? I find shipping overseas to be a nightmare." Yes. So this is done in your delivery profiles, or shipping profiles, depending on which language you have it set to. Anything that you have in there, it'll ship to. Anything you don't have there, you are not shipping to. You can't turn off your own country, but if you don't want to ship to everywhere, if you're using fixed shipping, you'll see everywhere else. So just don't have everywhere else, and you'll only ship to the ones in your list. And with calculated shipping, you'll see a whole bunch of check boxes, and just only check the boxes that you want to ship to. I believe it is different in Europe, what you guys see. That's what we see in North America is for calculated shipping. You see all the countries and you check the box that you want. And for fixed shipping, you add the countries individually, and then you can have an everywhere else.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was being quiet there. I was like, I don't really know from your side. We don't have calculated shipping just now, so we just have the other option, which is everywhere else or pick things individually.
So you don't have calculated shipping at all. You only have fixed shipping.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's not convenient.
I have no idea, because I've never seen anything else. We only got Etsy shipping labels like about a couple of years ago. So yeah. But yeah, it definitely, it works for me, especially listening to you all talk about like getting charged more or refunds or something for your shipping. It all makes no sense. It's like we decide what we're going to charge for shipping, and if the post office says something different, then you get a nasty surprise every time the prices go up.
And just a reminder to U.S. customers or U.S. sellers that, what is it, the 15th? So a couple of days ago, I think it happened that USPS rates went up, or they're going up, or something's happening with USPS rates. So just make sure that you're aware of that, and that you're keeping track of if you are charging enough.
Yeah, I think everything's gone up a wee bit. I got for UK sellers checkout, because I got a wee freight with Australia this morning. I hadn't shipped there for a while. That's good to hear.
Yeah, shipping internationally can be fun.
It's not, so once you get the hang of it, it kind of, if you're not in the US or Canada, it's probably worthwhile to do international shipping, or at least to the US and Canada.
From US and Canada as well, since we're still on the subject, because we have calculated shipping, it makes it so much easier, because you choose which methods of shipping you want to use, which shipping services, and it will calculate the proper rate. So you're actually charging exactly what those countries are, because there's certain countries like Brazil is usually more expensive than shipping to Italy. And so it'll actually charge the correct amount without you having to manually go in and check. And it's all based on package weight, which means if people are adding 15 items to their cart, you're not going to be undercharging or overcharging for shipping, because it knows exactly how much weight's going and how much the going rate currently is. For people with longer processing times, that can sometimes backfire a little bit when prices change, like they currently are with USPS. So if someone placed an order 2 weeks ago, they'll be paying the calculated rate from 2 weeks ago. So you might be undercharging them if the rate is now higher. So that's just something to think about when the prices do change, is make sure that you're keeping an eye on it leading up to it, for a few weeks leading up to it, if you have a larger processing time.
Yeah, all of us, I think, there, even without calculated shipping, we should remember and put the right prices in.
For sure. But like, I'm not sure how it is in the EU, but like from Canada, at least, because that's what I know, it is different prices based on different countries. And so as someone who can't use calculated shipping, you would have to manually check what the shipping rate is for everyone, and that just seems like a lot more hassle.
Just do a
So
kind of average.
there.
It used to be pretty much the same, but now it's slightly different. But just pick an average.
Yeah,
That's the best option we have.
for sure. So on Reddit, someone asked, I see eRank in the integration list on Etsy. Has anyone used the basic plan? If so, thoughts? Yes, eRank is in the integrations. When you go to your Etsy dashboard, you'll see the integrations button, and eRank is in there. They've been in there for since I started on Etsy 6 years ago almost. They've been in there. That just means that Etsy has vetted them and trusts them and understands what data they're using, and it's trusted that Etsy's vetted them and it's all good. So yeah, eRank, everybody use it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really cool to be
I
on
know
that
that this
list.
is the eRank channel, so of course there's going to be some level of bias. But I've been using eRank for just about in August it'll be 5 years, long before I did any work for eRank, and it was just the best tool. And still, every year or so, I kind of test out all the tools that are out there just because I want to do what's the best for my business, because I do run a couple successful shops, so I want to do what's right for my business, and I always just end up back on eRank. The good thing is that there is a free plan, so you can test it out. You can see what's working for you. If it matches with your workflow, you can see what data is there. It is limited in the amount of searches that you can do per day and stuff like that. And there's a few tools that you don't have any access to, but for the most part, you have access to more than half of the tools, and you can completely use it for free if you just want to test it out and see how it works for you. It is unlimited, like in the sense that you can stay on the free plan for 12 years. That's perfectly fine. If you do start hitting the limit, or you start running more shops, or you start just using it a lot more, as you start using it more, you will potentially want to upgrade to the basic, pro, or expert plan, depending on how many listings you have, how many shops you have, or just how you do your research. Like I personally do research once a week, and so I will hit those limits really quickly because of that. But if you're spreading it out, then you might not hit those limits, and the free plan might actually work for you. But the basic plan definitely adds a little bit more. You start getting the data that's not available directly from Etsy, like the search volume. So in the keyword tool, you'll see how many people approximately have searched for that keyword per month on average and stuff like that. Like you just get a lot more data by having one of the paid plans. So it's highly recommended once you start using eRank and get familiar with it to upgrade, but it's all up to you and your workflow and whatever works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually just checked the other day, because you can check now. I can check in my I think you can check as well in your settings. You can see when you signed up for eRank, and I was 2016.
Oh, wow.
I realized that, yeah. And I didn't start working for eRank till 2019. And I think I've told the story on here before, but I was talking to Anthony, and he's like, "Hey Pam, do you want to come and work for us?" And I was like, because I was like, I totally don't want to work for a company. I work for myself. I don't want any of this. So I was trying to find a way to sort of say no to Anthony, and then I didn't, and I sort of were. But we all work for eRank because we use eRank rather than the other way around, pretty much.
Exactly. I don't think there's many people in the eRank team, which is constantly growing, that doesn't have a shop and used eRank, and that's how they even found out that there were jobs available, like the translating job. You would need to know what eRank is, probably use eRank, and be watching a live stream about eRank to know that we're looking for translators for Italian and Spanish. So a lot of the staff are eRank. It's like the hair club for men. I'm not just the owner, I'm a client. It's that same kind of thing with basically all eRank staff, because we love the tool so much and we use it so much that we just want to be a part of it and help it grow.
Yeah, and we nag Anthony. Well, we nag the whole team. Like the other day, I was doing a little something, actually doing a thing for my own YouTube YouTube channel, and I was looking and I was using one of the tools and stuff. I'd love it if I could do this. And then I thought, hang on, I could ask, hey, eRank, can the tool do this? And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. So that is such a cool thing. But you guys can all do that as well. If you're using eRank and you think, I wish it could do this thing, just drop us a message, hit the button in the bottom right hand corner to speak to the support team and say, hey, I would love it if eRank could do this.
Yep. So Anna said, Anthony once mentioned a number that was high enough in the compare sites tool for eRank to have enough data to add a site to the keyword tool. Can you remind me what that number might be?
I don't think I've heard a number. I might be hallucinating. But yeah, in the compare sites tool, it needs to be a big enough site. If you haven't seen this, it's a tool on eRank that you can, as it says, compare sites. You can look at how one site is doing compared to another site, which is absolutely cool. But you probably can't like look at your blog or your own website or something. It has to be a fairly high traffic site. I don't know of an exact number for that. Anthony, if you're listening, I don't know if he's on even just now. I don't remember an exact number, but if you're not sure,
somewhere in the top million sites or something along those lines.
But if you're not sure, type in the website, and if it doesn't come up, we don't have enough data for it.
Linda said, Brian, you advise someone to change a listing keywords for their ads so they don't come up for too many irrelevant keywords. Do you copy listings, change it, and use the copy for your ads? If I want to target my listing specifically to a target audience, I will do that. And I will strip it down to the bare bones title and tags, so that it's only showing for keywords that I want it to show for. But when I was referring to the irrelevant keywords, when you're running ads on a listing, you could click on See Details when you go to the ad screen. And within that, you could actually see the search terms that led to a click on that listing. And you can actually turn off keywords that are relevant, which doesn't change the listing whatsoever. It just changes how it shows up for ads. And so if you find that your ads are being shown for something that's completely off the wall, and so you're just wasting money on those clicks that will never lead to a sale, you can turn off those keywords for ads so that it's not being shown for those irrelevant keywords. And so that's probably what I was talking about. But when I do want to run ads on listings, I always have ads running just because I need to see those screens to help people. But when I actually want to run ads effectively, I will usually copy a listing and strip it right down so that it shows to exactly who I want to show it to, because you have no control on Etsy. With Etsy ads, you could just say, here's the amount of money, these are the listings I want to show it to, and that's it. But I'm used to marketing on Facebook, Google, Pinterest, anywhere where you can actually narrow it down to an individual person, and show that ad to that specific person so that you're not wasting money on all of the irrelevant people. You can't do that on Etsy, and this is kind of a workaround to be able to kind of do that, is to narrow it down to just those words that you want that listing to show up for.
Yeah, it's actually funny you're saying you've always got ads on, because when you were talking about how to do this, I was going, oh, I'll just pull up my listings. And then I remembered that I've switched ads off for like the past couple of months because I was on holiday a bit and
Sure.
I'm behind with everything. But yeah, actually an interesting thing, a couple of times I've had some experts at Etsy review my listings because I was doing like videos for them and things, and they always pull up some of my terrible listings I'm testing. But one of them was one that I was testing on ads that had the very short targeted title and just a couple of tags, and they looked at it and they said, oh, is that a listing for advertising? Great strategy.
Yeah.
So that's all I heard from the people at Etsy, but that's something the people at Etsy said. So I took that as a wee thumbs up.
When it comes to running ads, you kind of have to have some level of strategy, because just throwing money at it will likely not do anything, especially if you're doing, if you're just throwing money at all of your listings. without a specific purpose or just any, like running ads and marketing is it's very strategic. That's why there's companies dedicated to just marketing and running ads and stuff, because you do have to be a bit strategic. And that's one of the ways that you can on Etsy, because you are very limited in what you can do. So running ads on just a few listings usually helps, and playing with your budget, making sure that those listings that you are running ads on are actually performing well. And there's lots of different things that you could do. And just completely stripping down a listing is one of those methods that you can use.
Yeah, but it's all, ads are a gamble. Don't spend more money than you can afford to lose, because you're not guaranteed any sales. If your listings are totally not working, there's a good chance they won't work with ads as well, because you're still up against a huge amount of competition. And sad to say, but when times get tough, like they are just now, more people switch on ads, and ads get more expensive and more competitive. So you're likely to see worse results. And that's across the board. Even Etsy mentioned that in their last investors report, that they are struggling to get value from their Facebook ads and stuff, because Timu's flooded it. So,
if there's more
it's
ads but less people shopping, that raises the ad value, which just means that you're spending more for what you for who knows what, hopefully getting in front of the right people.
Yeah, ads do tend to, for most people, they tend to work a little bit better in Q4, because there's a lot more people shopping. So if they're absolutely not working for you and you've tried all the strategies, you might want to switch them off in the summer. Sometimes your sales are just going to be quiet. We just have to deal with that fact and switch them on in a couple of months.
And sometimes putting that money towards other ad networks might be good, just to get a little bit of experience using those networks and targeting your listings specifically to who you want to see them. So that could be what you do as well.
Yeah, do loads of research before you do like Facebook or Google ads or something. They're a bit more God mode things. You really have to dig into them first, but it's really worth learning them. Definitely.
Lara said, can you please explain how eRank can suggest more personalized keywords for my shop?
Yes and no. You have to do the work. Basically, eRank's a tool to help you, but there's tons of tools within the tool that can help you with that. First of all, obviously, we have the keyword tool. So you put into that something that you think a buyer will be searching for, and then just scroll down to the related keywords. In the latest blog posts, if you have a look at them on eRank, Jan actually, in her monthly trend reports, talks about how you can then niche down from a popular keyword like jewelry or bracelet or something, how you can niche down to find good keywords. Another one that I absolutely love is our AI listing helper. Type in what your item is. Type in what your item is, and then as you scroll down to the bottom, it's going to give you some tag ideas. Sometimes they're irrelevant, sometimes they don't have good search volume, but sometimes they have some like real gems out of the box that you hadn't have thought of. Because something like the keyword tool, although I love it, it shows you the other related searches that shoppers are searching for and the other tags that buyers are using. The AI tool uses the AI to go, I thought of something random that might be that might totally work. So it can come up with completely different ones. What did you just pull up there?
No, sorry, I misclicked, but Anthony had answered Anna about the teachers pay teachers and that type of stuff.
Ah, cool. Thanks, Anthony.
Sorry for ruining your flow.
Yeah. Never know if Anthony's lurking. No, it's not so much ruining my scroll. This is kind of cool and a bit freaky. For anyone who doesn't know, Brian's logged into my account as well, and he's sitting here clicking the buttons. So it first happened, I'm like, how's things popping up?
I'm making it so you don't have to.
I can't mess it up. It's great.
Nadia said, am I correct to be reached in gift mode? I need to include one gift for key. No. Gift mode, actually, it's all it really does is let the buyer choose a couple traits about the person, and then it says, well, these are items that match that particular thing. It's not really gifts necessarily. It's matching an item to a personality trait. That's what it's really trying to do. So you don't have to use gift for or anything like that. Gift for dog, gift for daughter, gift for dad. You don't need to include any of that. It helps in regular search for people that aren't using gift mode, but it doesn't help you necessarily in gift mode. All that it would really do is kind of give a couple more traits to it, but it's not required whatsoever. Gift mode is just about matching selected personality traits by the shopper with listings.
I said we don't really know the criteria that Etsy is using for all of this, so it doesn't hurt. I don't think something for most of us. Brian Shop might be an exception, but for most of us, having a tag like gift for mom is probably an absolute waste of time. Well, mainly a waste for time because it's such a competitive search term, and it's also going to be such a competitive gift space to be in. But if you have something really, really specific, gift for a dog loving gaming nerd who happens to like tutus, it's unlikely to be much searched for, but that's a very specific niche. So, why not go for the specific niche?
Exactly. Laura expanded with the ads thing. And can I ask how or if this strategy of ads affect the twin listing? Or if the list with ads start selling a lot? So it will only affect the listing that sells. The listings are completely separate. When you copy a listing, it now creates a separate listing with no history and no attachment to the previous listing, which means that when that listing starts getting boosted in rank because it's selling, it does not boost the original listing, which means you're not really helping out that old listing, but you're helping bring people to your shop to potentially buy that listing in the future, or just and also sales in general just boost all of your listings in general, but you are not helping the original listing, in the sense that a sale leads to another sale.
Yep. But yeah, it helps your whole shop, and sales are good.
Exactly. And she further went on to say, do you have any recommendation where to learn strategies for ads? A lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is learning from other people, the way that like me and Pam, we basically just tried things and see what worked, what didn't work. There are YouTube videos probably about it. Take those with a grain of salt, because a lot of them won't be referring directly to Etsy, or they're referring to Etsy from years ago when it was promoted listings instead of Etsy ads. And there's just a lot of old information out there as well, so just be careful with that. But a lot of it is trial and error and just seeing what works and seeing what makes sense. Watching big stores, watching Best Buy or Walmart, and seeing how they run ads and how they're strategizing and how they're sending email blasts and what they're doing is a big contributor to what we do, because they have the multi-million-dollar marketing budgets, and so we just benefit from it. So just kind of watch what the big guys are doing and kind of take aspects of that and see what can help you and what can't.
Yeah, I totally agree. The trial and error, like your entire shop is a science project that is always needing testing. Couple of simple strategies. Keyword research is still always important. Not necessarily, well, yes, the keywords that you're going to use, but for me, keyword research is figuring out what it is that people are looking for just now. So there's no point advertising things that people don't want to buy just now. Your ads are going to do better. Big fluffy jumpers are probably only going to be useful for Australia and Scotland just now. So probably put your ads on your knitted bikinis or whatever it is. Yeah, knitted bikinis are a thing.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, crochet, definitely. It used to be, I think our grandparents, there was no, before Lycra, they had to have knitted swimwear. It was a thing.
That doesn't seem
But I've
comfortable.
seen completely, yeah, don't Google crocheted bikinis. Anyway, just warning you all. And then the other thing, once you've found good keywords, the most important thing, the strategy is to always be looking back in your ads data, seeing what was working, switching off the irrelevant keywords, switching off the ads that are costing you money, trying to figure out why the ads, like, why did I not get any sales and lots of views on that? Does my listing suck? Do the pictures need refreshed? Is the description or the listing confusing or off-putting to people? You know, use all of that data. It's a fact people expect you pay for ads and you get sales, but what really happens is you pay for ads and you get data to help you be able to make sales in future. That's more how I look at it. So if you're not using that to get data, then you're kind of wasting your money a bit. So always dig into what the ads are telling you about your listing.
Exactly. And it gives more information than you get from just regular stats as well. With search analytics beta going away, we'll talk about that probably later on. That the ads is the ads is basically the only other place you can see impressions. When they say views, that's actually the number of times your ad was shown on a page. And so knowing if your ad is being shown and not clicked, that's important information. So if you're getting views but no visits, that's very important information. If you're getting a lot of visits but no sales, that's very important information. So diving into the ad stats is actually really important, and that's a huge strategy that a lot of people don't do. And it's weird calling it a strategy when the data is right there, and you should, like, that's just to a lot of people that would be common sense, is look at the data. If you're throwing money into something, make sure it's working. And that is one of the strategies, is diving into the stats and checking it at least once a week to see what is happening and what's moving and what's being shown and what's being clicked on and what's being purchased. And if what you're doing is working, and if there's certain listings that just aren't being shown at all, turn ads off for those. If there's certain listings that are being shown a lot but not getting any clicks, what's wrong with those listings? Is it the photos? Is it the pricing? What could be wrong with that? If you're getting a lot of clicks but no sales, what's wrong with the listing? Why is it doing that? Why is it eating away at your budget? And what can you do about that? How can you stop it from just killing the budget and not making any sales? But also, don't expect a higher conversion rate on ads than you do with your normal listings, because ads are shown in line in search. So they actually just look like search results for the most part. So if you're only getting a 2% conversion on a listing, don't expect ads to give you a 50% conversion, because that's just not the way that ads work, especially on Etsy. They potentially could go lower, but generally they will stay about the same. So if it takes 50 clicks on average to make a sale on normally, expect to spend 50 clicks worth of ad clicks to make a sale as well, and kind of work that into your budget.
Yeah, that's something that people don't figure out enough. They'll say, I've been running $1 a day on ads for a week and I've not made a sale. If the cost per click on the ads is 25 cents or something, you've been getting
That's 4
clicks a day. Yeah. You're going to have to wait a month or two to be even thinking of getting a sale. And also, do the maths on that, figure out how much is it roughly going to be costing me in ads to keep going to this to get a sale? Is it going to be worth it?
Exactly.
And that can be quite scary numbers.
And so that's why diving into the stats is important. And that's why Etsy shows all that information. The return on ad spend, the ROAS, that's a very important number to know how much is actually being spent for that listing versus how much you've actually made. And if you divide those two numbers, the amount spent and the amount of sales that you've made, you can actually see how much it's costing per click on average for that listing. So you could extrapolate that if you're getting about a 2% conversion rate on that, so it takes 50 clicks and it's costing you 25 cents per click, then that's going to cost you about, what's that? My math is not good right now. That'll cost you $12.50 for a sale. So can you afford $12.50 to sell that item once? So those are kind of the things that you have to factor in, just to make sure that you're not losing money on ads. Because even if you're spending $1 a day, that's still $30 a month. That's still $360 a year. Like
That's
it's a lot. It does add up quite a bit. So you kind of want to finesse it and not just throw money at it, and walk away. So use
and remember,
the data.
you've got fees. You've got fees to come off as well as everything else. Your shipping costs, all the
Your
extra
cost of
money.
goods.
So, yep.
Yeah, if you're getting a 10 ROAS, so if you spent $10 to make $100, you basically gave a 10% discount effectively. If you only have a 4 ROAS, so you spent $25 to make $100, you've now given 25% off essentially. So make sure that you have that in your budget that you can spend.
Yeah, I'm not scary at all, Anthony. Not scary.
Wait, what? Search Analytics beta is going away? Yes. If you go to the page right now, and I'm not on it because that would be too useful, at the top it now says we're phasing this page out and it won't be available after August 14th, 2024. Visit ShopStats instead to find your most current search analytics, and stay tuned for some exciting new search insights coming soon.
So go in just now and get all your data.
Yeah, that could mean that it's coming out of beta and they're integrating it into search, into just the regular stats. That would be nice. That's not necessarily what they're saying, but that's hopefully what they're saying.
He's so cute and optimistic. I love it.
Yeah, it's really upsetting because that's one of my most used screens on Etsy when doing keyword research or just figuring out if my listings are doing anything, or why they're not doing anything, or why they are doing something. It's a very useful tool. The problem is that a lot of people don't even know it exists, and a lot of people just don't really use it effectively. And so it could be going away because a lot of people are using it and I'm completely wrong, and so they're integrating it into everything and it's going to be absolutely amazing, or they're realizing, oh, nobody's using this and it's just taking up space, so let's kill it. So we don't know exactly what's happening. Unfortunately, August 14th, so in less than a month, it is no longer going to be where it currently is under marketing search analytics beta. It's going to be gone.
Yeah, and even if they're doing something awesome, it might take them a little while to implement it. That's my chair, not me, by the way. It might take them a little while to implement it. So dive in, get all your data. If you use it, message Etsy and just let them know that you use it and you love it and you hope something cool's coming up. If you don't use it, good time, dive in. There's one piece of data you get there, apart from in your ads, which is for specific listings, but you don't get anywhere else for your normal listings, is the impressions data.
It's so important. Impressions.
Yes. So go in and have a look, because what impressions mean is somebody physically searched for that keyword and Etsy attempted to show them your listing. You might have had no clicks and sales or whatever else. That's your fault. Etsy tried to help you, tried to show you that's not your fault. Like your click-through rate and your conversion's always going to be like relatively lower than you think, probably. But those impressions are saying real people are searching for this and Etsy's trying to show you it, trying to show them your item.
And in the search analytics, which is going away, so get there now, you see the actual search query. So you see the keywords that were used, you see the impressions and visits and clicks and all that type of stuff. But then if you click on the number in the last column under listings, you can now see how each individual listing fared for those exact same stats. So you could see the search query that was used that showed that specific listing and the average position of that specific listing, which is invaluable data, which is why it's really upsetting that it's going away, because that actually tells you if that listing is working for that keyword. and listings that aren't working for that keyword. If a listing is showing up 10,000 times for a specific search term and it's never getting a click, there's something wrong. It could mean your photos, it could mean your title, it could mean your pricing, it could mean something's wrong, but Etsy's really trying to show it, and Etsy really wants you to sell that item. So you know what you need to fix with it. If it's instead of just sitting there going, well, it has no visit, so that means that it's just not being shown. Why isn't Etsy showing my listing? That actually is where it shows you that they are showing your listings and it's just not getting clicks. And it's really frustrating that it's going away, and I'm passionate
It is
about it.
indeed. And if you don't know what we're talking about, last time me and Brian were together, I think this was 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks
we actually covered this tool, showed you my screens and showed you everything that was going on there. So go back to that video. We do have another question about ads that I wanted to pull up from Amanda. A lot of time I see clicks on my ads without any keyword details, searches that led to this ad. How does that happen? That's actually really simple. Etsy shows ads in more places than just the search page. So it is frustrating. You want to know why your ad worked, but there's tons of other places on the Etsy site that Etsy is showing ads, and they don't come necessarily with any search data. So when we're saying you've got to look at the data that you have, it's not, we're never saying look at the data to be able to add up one to one to say this one thing led to this one thing. Look at the trends. Don't try and make it all add up, but just say on average this is working the best, this is getting the most number of views, this is working the best, this is costing me the most money, rather than to say, oh, that said 16, but this only says 14 or something. You'll drive yourself mad. The numbers on stats for websites will never add up. They just can't.
You'll get that a lot on the stats for listings too, just the general stats, not even the ad stats, because people didn't necessarily find your listing from a search. They could have been looking at another listing and scrolled to the bottom and saw related items and clicked on that. They could have been on a blog that and went through the favorites. So someone could have shared a favorites folder with your listing in it, and then it was clicked on. So there's a lot of ways that your listings are actually found with ads and with just organic clicks that there is no stats for. And you just don't know where they came from. There's no way to tell because Etsy only gives just very limited amount of information.
Yep. Irene, sorry. We told you about the search analytics data just as we told you it's going away. It is amazing. You've got a month. Get in, use it. You can go back in time, like literally every year after Christmas, I go and look at what happened for Christmas. If you have a super busy shop like Brian, you can probably look month by month at your data. For as mere mortals, you maybe want to look at 3 months, 6 months, a year, just to get enough data to get that kind of average amount of data, rather than trying to look at 4 clicks. You want to look at 400 clicks, basically.
And the fact that you can look at historical data is absolutely amazing. Starla just released a video recently that Christmas is trending right now. And as far as my shops go, yes, Christmas is starting to pick up. Halloween's not even here yet, but people are already starting shopping for Christmas. So you can actually look at the previous data from your shop and what kind of fared out in October, November. What were people searching for? How did people find your listings last year in October, November? So how can you duplicate that success now? Or how can you enhance on it? Or how can you boost yourself using the information from last season for your specific shop, instead of just, well, this keyword is trending. If you're not being shown for that keyword, then it doesn't actually matter that it's trending. But if your listings were being shown for that keyword, you know that you should put that keyword in more of your listings. So you could kind of enhance your shop and your other listings based on the listings that performed well this time last year. So that's where it's amazing, and that's why it's horrible that it's going away.
Yeah. but you have a month. I'm going to be showing a million times to everybody how I'm using that data, because it's so important. And just get in there, find those keywords, save them in a keyword list on eRank, so you remember them. Make a note saying, here's the keywords that are working at Christmas, here's the keywords that work on Valentine's, here's the Mother's Day. And
Exactly.
just, it's not even what it, you can see the keywords that are working in a lot of places. You want to see the keywords that are not working yet, but Etsy tried to help you with those impressions. Like they're the ones that are like so nearly there. When I think, what was it, when we looked 2 weeks ago, there's a couple of keywords that people were finding me on, like position that was saying they scrolled through like 14 pages to find my listings. Yeah, which is crazy.
Also good data to know. If your target audience searches through 20 pages, that's good to know that they're not just looking at page 1. So you don't have to worry as much about being on page 1, because your target audience happens to scroll a bit more. Generally, the younger generation just sits there and scrolls on their phone for 20 minutes. They look at Etsy the way they look at Instagram, which means that they can be on page 30, 40, 50. And if your listings are being found, that means that you're hitting that target audience, which is perfect. You don't need to focus where I have to be on page 1, otherwise I won't be successful. You can now target keywords that that might have a million competition, or might have a larger competition than you're normally comfortable with, just because you know that your particular shoppers tend to search a little bit further.
Yep. Laura asks as well, is there a way to download the beta?
No.
Sadly, no. Etsy didn't give us that option. And can you speak of how to use it effectively? I'm pretty sure I made a video on this channel about the search analytics beta. Reasonably sure. I've made a ton of them on my own, Pam Duthie on YouTube, but I'm sure there's a basic one on here as well. But everyone does it differently. The most important thing for me, you can change the time period, look at different time periods, pick enough big enough time period, depending on how busy your shop is, that you get enough data. And then I like to click to sort it by the number of impressions. So you see the one with the most impressions first. Look at those keywords, look at how often you're getting clicked on, how often they convert to sales and everything, and that helps you know what are the good keywords. Your superstar keywords are the ones that convert the highest. Those are really good keywords. That's a metric that Etsy loves. Or the keywords that there's tons of impressions, but you're on a low page for. Can you maybe optimize your listing a bit better and get seen better?
Exactly. And to add to that, Susanna asked, can you filter by date? Yes. And like Pam was saying, you could choose 90 days. You can basically choose anything. But also, if you're running a sale, if you ran a sale in April, because it is 4 days behind, if you ran a sale in April, you could see how people found your listings on that specific day, which is extremely important information as well. There's so much important information there, and you can, unfortunately, in a month you won't be able to, but right now you can search by date, and you could choose a single date, or you can choose an entire year, and it's just absolutely incredible. As Pam says, I have a very busy shop, so it won't actually let me search for a year. It just says, yeah, too much data, can't show that. Once it's over 1 million views or 1 million visits, it just won't show the data. So sometimes you might have to narrow it down, but you can choose your date range, and it compares to last year, and it's an amazing tool, and it's going away.
Yeah, can you tell we like it? It's a very cool tool.
Jay Murray said, hi, I'm super newbie to eRank. Can you explain how to read the data after you type a keyword? The color bars specifically. What does it tell me?
Great question. I don't have eRank open just now, and we've only got 5 minutes left. But yeah, the colored bars, super important information. You would have the number of is it views first? Yes.
Yep, search volume is first,
Search
and
for, yeah,
then the click rate. I could pull it up. You keep
yeah, it's
talking.
clicks, click-through rate, and competition. So search volume, first of all, tells you the number of actual customers in your country that searched for that search term. The colors are just there as a visual aid to help you see the differences. So with search volume, clicks, and click-through rate, green means it's higher, so more people are searching, more people are clicking. Red means it's lower. Clicks are of the people that searched for that term, how many of them went on to click something. Now that number can be over 100% because you can click on more than one thing in search. You search for something, you click on a listing, and then you click on another listing. A higher number of clicks and a higher click-through rate tends to mean there's a good search intent, in that people searched and they saw stuff they liked and they clicked on it. And finally, competition is the number of listings in your country that will also be there for that keyword that you searched for. And the colors there are going to be, red is for high, because the more listings that are there, the more you've got to compete with, the harder it's going to be to show up in search. And green is meaning less. So, yeah.
So green is good, red is bad for the most part, but that's just a guide. You could still rank really well for a keyword that has a lot of competition. So it looks red, but if it's relevant to your listing, still use it. You have 13 tags. You could have multiple words in your tags, so don't shy away from those really hot keywords just because there is big competition. It's the same with the average searches, where it could be low, but if there's not much competition, then your listing will show up. And if there's a high click-through rate, then you're almost guaranteed, even though 100 people are searching for that term on average a month, that's still 100 people. That's still 100 people that could click and make a purchase. So they're just kind of guides, and green means that's kind of leaning towards better. Red is that's kind of leaning towards worse, but that doesn't mean that that they're bad or good. It just means it's just kind of a guide of what to do with that data and read further into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's, as we said earlier, like your entire shop is a science experiment. So picking keywords is, again, a science experiment. You go, okay, I think that kind of looks good, in that it's relevant for your item. That's the most important thing. It has some people searching for it. What's a good number depends on your shop. When they search, they click in the search, and there's a low enough competition that you can show up in search. And that depends on your shop. It depends how good your item is. So we can't say that something's a great keyword. We can say, maybe this is a good one to experiment with. And the same, yes, it would be lovely to be able to do a search and you come up with keywords that are all green bars because they're all good, as it were. Etsy is a very established site with lots and lots of sellers. It's very unlikely you'll find the absolute perfect keywords. You just have to find ones that, oh, that looks good enough to experiment with.
Exactly. And a lot of it is using parts of words. So if you're selling a mug, there's going to be 12 million mugs out there. There's going to be 12 million Etsy competition. So that's going to be very red, and 12 million sounds horrible. But if your mug has a butterfly on it, you might still rank. There might not be as much competition for butterfly mug. You're still in the running for mug, even though there's 12 million results. You're still going to be in there if you use butterfly mug as a tag. So it's good to know what the individual words do as well. If people search for mug and 100% of those people are clicking on them, that's a great thing. So that might still be a great word to use, but you can mix it with other words like butterfly, which then will be less competition for that exact phrase. But you kind of got to think of every word by itself and together with every other word. So it's all just more information, and kind of gives you a guide of if that's something that people are searching for and if that's something that people are selling.
Yeah, something like mugs a great example, because you're looking to see if there's a good signal that people buy mugs, and there is. But you don't want to go in and put your entire strategy, your title just says mug, your one tag says mug, that's it. You're banking everything on the word mug. You're saying people buy mugs. Then you want to drill down and see, what kind of mugs do they buy? What kind of mugs do they buy that less people are making that they might love mine? And then if you start to sell loads and loads of your butterfly mugs, then Etsy will go, hey, this person's butterfly mugs are awesome. Let's try showing them to people who are searching just for mug. So it's like clawing up a ladder of search as well.
Exactly. I don't see any more questions. I think we hit them all.
Did we done it? Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And Brian, thank you again. We're having quite the summer of all members of our team in here.
Amazing. Just everybody joining in. We need everybody. We need Sophie. Sophie needs to jump on here. We need Deb. We just need all of the little screens. How many can we have? 16 on here? We should just have the whole team. It'd be great.
Oh, that wouldn't get confusing at all. Yeah. I definitely
everybody
need your help.
Trying to answer questions too. It'd be amazing.
Wouldn't be crazy at all. But you can join us every week here, guys. Also, in the description below, we've got the Facebook group, which you can join. Don't forget on Reddit for eRank community. And yeah.
And if you are a native Italian or Spanish speaker, don't forget you send an email to anthony@erank.com if you're looking for some translator work for eRank and for all the other things that we do. Paid work is great. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and dance with us. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Bye.